They're making him actually gain yards in a normal, consistent way, rather than those roll out and screw it, Tyreek down there somewhere, kind of plays. What is going on, everybody? It is Jake with Master Football, back at it again. Happy Monday. Thank you so much for being here. For those of you who've never been here before, this is Jake with Master Football. All things pro football, college football, video game football, anything related to American football we discuss on this show. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit it right now. Make it gray. Okay? Go ahead and hit that red subscribe button. Like it, comment, share, anything like that. I really appreciate the engagement. Without further ado, let's get into our video. So there's one story that is far and away the biggest story in all of American football right now. I went through college and there was a couple of big games. Oklahoma State, number 8, Oklahoma State lost. Penn State lost in 9 overtimes. That was an absolutely nuts game. Wake Forest continues to win, just put up 70 points. I know it's against the Army. But there's a couple wins like that were pretty noticeable. But far and away, the biggest story right now is whatever the hell is going on with the Kansas City Chiefs. So here we are with the result from yesterday's game. At 27-3, the Kansas City Chiefs lose to the Tennessee Titans on the road. The Tennessee Titans scored all 27 points in the first half. The Chiefs kicked a field goal in the third quarter, and beyond that, there was no score. You come down here and you check it out. So Ryan Tannehill had a solid game, 21 for 27, 270, one touchdown, one pick, sacked one time, 87.9 QBR. Derrick Henry had a touchdown pass himself. And then they also had 86 yards rushing on the ground, 3 yards a carry, so they did a decent job bottling him up. But the offense for the Kansas City Chiefs, man, 20 for 35, 206, no touchdowns, 1 interception, sacked 4 times, QBR of 6. QBR is essentially rating out what the score is, how you're doing, and how you're doing according to, certain situations in the game. I don't know the exact calculation, but I know it's from a 0 to 100 scale, so 6 is really, really bad. Kansas City Chiefs didn't really get they had 5.9 yards per carry, but at the same time, it looks like they just got down and they just abandoned the running game real early in that game. For some reason, they could not guard A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's real good, 8 for 133. Look at here. Travis Kelce had 65 yards. Tyreek Hill had 49 yards, a long of 17. It just, the Chiefs just do not look like themselves right now. Here we are with the NFL.com article basically stating, this right here is what we learned from Sunday's games. I want to make sure I include this in the description here. A couple of the takeaways here. One of the takeaways from Kevin Patra was the Titans make a massive statement. And of course, early on in the season, weren't sure how they were doing. They played the Cardinals in week 1 and got shellacked. Taylor Lewan had a rough game against Chandler Jones. And then we go through this too. Patrick Mahomes runs out of magic. He was forcing a couple passes here and there. He got hurt. He got rolled up on late in the game. Kind of had his eyes off into a daze. Wasn't a good look for him. But the big thing here is the Titans pass rush dominates. You'll see that. See this right here where it says next gen stat of the game. The Titans generated pressure without blitzing as Tennessee blitzed Patrick Mahomes just once on 39 dropbacks. For those of you who are familiar with football, you understand that if you want to generate pressure, you blitz. You bring more people than they have to block. We'll use the Ravens as an example later on in this video, basically to show that, blitzing Patrick Mahomes is not a good idea. And actually, that might be the strategy to go with. Many have actually adopted it going on. This was an article written before the Ravens played the Kansas City Chiefs. So it says right here, the Ravens' strategies for stopping Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs' offense haven't worked. The alternatives are just as grim. Coming down here, it states the obvious that the Ravens and the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs and this group of Ravens have played each other 3 times. They've lost 3 games. They've given up 31.3 points and 487 yards, and they've allowed 116.2 passer rating for Patrick Mahomes. A big reason why here is this. Martindale's prevailing strategy, blitz Mahomes, rely on man-to-man coverage and play with one deep safety, hasn't worked. That article was written before they played. And again, they gave up a lot of points. They gave up 30-plus points, but they still were able to win the game. But it looks like the strategy against Patrick Mahomes, it used to be blitz, blitz, blitz. But a lot of people have decided, we're not going to blitz him anymore. Here we are from the ringer.com. Basically says the new strategy to slow down Patrick Mahomes, don't blitz. The NFL defenses have a surprising new idea to deal with the league's elite quarterbacks. So far, it's working, or as well as it can against football's best passers. So it says right here that through 5 weeks, Patrick Mahomes is the least blitz quarterback in the NFL, at least 12.6% of his dropbacks. And while Mahomes and the Chiefs offense is still scoring points at an exorbitant rate, Mahomes' performance against non-blitzing defenses has been human. Per Pro Football Focus, he's completing 68% of his passes and averaging 7.1 yards an attempt with an average depth of target of 8.3 yards and has taken 6 sacks and had 5 turnover-worthy plays on non-blitzing plays. Those numbers just about match the overall 2021 season of Kirk Cousins, who's averaging 7.3 yards per attempt, 69.6% of his passes, an average depth of target of 7, and has taken just 9 sacks and had 4 turnover-worthy plays. So this goes to show right here. This is Next Gen Stats on Twitter. They basically said that Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense was at their best passing against the Ravens blitz. Tonight, the Ravens rarely sent more than 4 rushers. The Ravens blitzed on 12.9% of pass plays, the unit's lowest mark under DC Don Martindale. You see here, Next Gen Stats. This is after the Bills game. The Bills did not blitz Patrick Mahomes on any of his 25 dropbacks in the first half. The only other game in the Next Gen Stats era where a defense did not blitz a single time, the Bills in week 6 of last season, also against the Chiefs, 0 blitzes on 27 dropbacks. So everybody understands the concept. You bring more rushers, you try and speed up the process. However, if you watch Patrick Mahomes is one of the best scramblers in the NFL. Now, a lot of people think scrambling means running. There's a difference between a running quarterback and a scrambling quarterback. Patrick Mahomes is the best at scrambling, but at the same time, if you rush 4 and he scrambles, there's still going to be coverage downfield. If he scrambles after a blitz, there's less people downfield. He creates time. He's really good at that, but if you prevent him from doing that by keeping people back, playing coverage, making them throw it underneath, making him be patient, he really wants to roll out of that pocket and then throw it to Tyreek 80 yards downfield. When you don't blitz, you don't allow nearly as many of those to happen. So a big product of this too, I want to say, is that the Chiefs' new offensive line they've had. Okay, so they've got Orlando Brown on the outside. They've got Joe Tooney at guard. They got Creed Comfort at center. That side's good. Center out to left side is good. The right side, Trey Smith. They got Mike Remmers, had Lucas Niang at tackle. They've been having some issues with that. I do know that a lot of Panthers fans despise Mike Remmers because he had a really bad Super Bowl against the Denver Broncos. But I do think that the shuffling around the offensive line, the fact that they have so many new starters has been an issue for them. Whether or not it's the main issue, I think it is part of it too. And again, you remember here that I think that the big factor behind the Chiefs not being as dominant as they were, especially on offense, is the fact that when you can force Patrick Mahomes to run around, he's less, capable. I think a big factor of this too, you see this right here. This is from last year's Super Bowl when he ran for nearly 500 yards before throwing or getting sacked. I think that, if you can force him to run around, but you still have coverage downfield, that's when you're going to be most effective against Patrick Mahomes. You're still going to give him points, man, but you're not going to give up nearly as many as if you blitz, he creates some time and checks it to Tyreek downhill in one-on-one coverage. That's where he's most effective. So looking here, it's the Chiefs are currently 3-4. They don't have a bye week for a couple weeks here. They have the Giants on Monday Night Football coming up, so that should be an opportunity for them to win that game. It doesn't get any easier. They play the Packers at home. They play at the Raiders. They play the Cowboys, who they're playing pretty good. The Broncos have kind of stepped off a little bit. They play the Raiders again. They play the Chargers 4 days later. That's not going to be an easy schedule. Even a couple of these other games here. The Steelers, Big Ben, who knows what's going on there. But the Bengals don't look easy. And then going to Denver, especially with those pass rushers and a division foe, that's not going to be easy either. They're going to have a tough time making the playoffs. I do think that they have plenty of talent to do so. Whether or not they put it together, we'll see. So that's my assessment right now. I think the big factor behind them right now is just that the fact that teams aren't blitzing Patrick Mahomes anymore. They're making him actually gain yards in a normal, consistent way rather than those roll out and screw it, Tyreek down there somewhere, kind of plays. Get in those comments. Let me know what you think is the biggest reason why the Chiefs aren't really performing like they should be. And we'll just get after it, my friends. All right, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, subscribe, anything like that. I really appreciate it. But I am gone. I'll see you guys for Raider Tuesday. Remember, Raider Tuesday. I'm out.